All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Movie Theater Lobby. This is our monthly traditional style.
Traditional style, yeah.
Where we give you info and fun stuff about a movie.
More in-depth.
Rather than us just telling you what we think about it.
Yeah.
This one's more informative.
Yeah.
So we're back to that thing.
We're still going to probably tell you what we think.
Well, of course we will. So this one is...
Well, it's during the best month of the year.
According to some...
According to me.
According to you. Because it happens to be your birthday month.
It is my birthday month. Yeah.
Not that we're celebrating your birthday for the whole month, but...
I am.
Well, of course you are. But since your birthday takes place in this month, we're giving you...
first choice.
Pick, which happens to be...
It's Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge.
My favorite movie of all time. I mean, that's a big statement.
It is. Because there's a lot of really good movies
I love
there.
a lot of really good movies. And I will say Star Wars has probably got an extra special place in my heart because of my name.
Because of your name.
But Moulin Rouge is always going to have that little special place in my heart because it came out around a time when it was early 20s. And I just needed that emotion in my life and that fantasy and the pretty colors. I just needed that.
Colors, set design,
cool
costumes.
That's probably one of the few movies I've gone to the theater and seen it more than once.
Yeah, I would say that's probably right.
Yeah. I don't think I actually can't remember another movie that I've gone to see in the theater more than once.
Well, I don't often go back to the theater.
No, but I had to see that one on the big screen again because it was just so fantastical.
It is a movie that was made to be seen on the big screen.
I mean, if you get a chance to go see it on the big screen, if they're ever playing it again, you should go and see it.
Very lively,
Grandiose.
vivacious. Yeah, the whole way through.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so here we're saying we're not going to really spend a whole lot of time talking about it, but here we just did. So anyway, let's get into this, right?
Yeah.
So do you want to give us kind of a quick rundown on the plot-alicious?
So it starts out kind of trippy in the beginning. You get introduced to Christian, Ewan McGregor's character.
Mm-hmm. And he's an aspiring writer.
He is an aspiring writer, yeah.
He wants to write in the grand bohemian style.
So he comes to get inspiration, much to his father's chagrin. So his father's really not on board at all.
No, he's got different plans for his son.
He's got much different plans for his son. Always this ridiculous obsession with love.
There you go, yes.
And then he says, you'll end up wasting your life at the Moulin Rouge with a can-can dancer.
I mean, really?
How ominous.
I feel like wasting my life at the Moulin Rouge with the can-can dancers. There's a lot worse things to happen. But this is where we end up meeting the sparkling diamond.
The sparkling diamond.
Satine.
Yeah, Satine.
The kind of crown jewel.
Yeah, she's the headliner of the Moulin Rouge. You see how beautiful and loved she is.
Yeah. Admired by all.
Admired by all. He ends up getting hired to write a play starring her.
And it's being bankrolled by the Duke.
The Duke. He is
he's the financier. And one of his stipulations was that he would finance it, but he gets to take Satine as a courtesan.
As his courtesan, his personal courtesan, which she agrees to because she wants to be a famous star.
Yeah.
And that she feels this is the way she's going to become a real actress, is what she says in her words. She and Christian fall in love, but they are doing it in secret behind the Duke's back the whole time.
You don't want the Duke to be, because the Duke has eyes on Satine.
Yes.
And wants to keep her permanently.
He wants to keep her to himself.
To wed her.
Yeah. It's pretty gross, actually. What's the famous saying at the end? I think it's the greatest thing you'll ever learn is to love and be loved in return.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the big message.
The big message, the big theme throughout the movie. It's even recited a number of times throughout the film.
And this is part of the Red Curtain trilogy. So it's Strictly Ballroom, Romeo and Juliet, and Moulin Rouge. And they're all very love intense.
They are very...
I'm sorry, all three are fabulous movies.
They're great,
on their own. And they're different.
They're all very different styles.
Yeah.
But they're all very Baz Luhrmann.
They are, yeah. You like him or you don't, I think.
He's kind of got his own unique style, and he employs it very well with those three films. It makes it kind of different in each one, enough where it's definitely his style, but each film, like you had mentioned,
has a very different feel.
They've got a different tone, different theme. Baz Luhrmann is the director and credited as co-writer, along with the writer Craig Pearce. They work together a lot. In fact, I think they have been working together since Baz
we've
Luhrmann's
talked
start.
many times before. It's these people who work together. They always have somebody that they cling to.
They work together on Strictly Ballroom. They work together on Romeo and Juliet. Obviously, Moulin Rouge, we had just mentioned. Recently, Elvis.
That was a good one, too.
Yeah,
I like Baz Luhrmann's stuff, though. I've always liked his stuff.
Yeah. Like you had mentioned before, it's either his style, you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
Some people, I can understand why it's too much.
In interviews, his goal in life is to bring these musicals that at one time were kind of awkward and not really for the younger generation, but to bring them into this generation and to make them the same. So they're still like you're talking and then you burst into song,
Sure,
and like it's awkward if you like think about it, but he's trying to make it more mainstream so that the younger crowds can attach. I mean, I did at 22. I thought it was the greatest thing that ever happened. What, a musical that I can actually like in like this day and age, like that's new? What? But then to find out that Romeo and Juliet was done by the same guy, but then also to find out Strictly Ballroom, which is kind of even more...
it definitely was lesser known.
Known to find that one too. So I had 3 films that I could cling to and be like,
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet for its time was kind of a sore thumb. If you liked it, that's great. It was made especially for you at that point, then if you liked it. Because it took that old William Shakespeare play and modernized it, but it kept the language in the older style. Yeah,
it was a little strange to watch.
Yeah, so you get this fast-paced, frenetic kind of filmmaking mixed with kind of that lumbering, plodding William Shakespeare dialogue. And it kind of hit differently. And then you throw in kind of modern music because the soundtrack was all modern day.
I was going to say the soundtrack it slapped. It was really good.
Yeah, it was actually a very popular soundtrack.
Baz has got a way with the music. In Moulin Rouge, man, it just banger after banger after banger. I've read somewhere that it took him 2.5 years to actually secure all the rights to the songs that he wanted to use.
I could believe that.
I mean, that alone is a feat in and of itself.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so dedicated, like, to take that kind of time to make sure he had the music he wanted. And he still didn't get everything he wanted.
Oh, no.
There were a couple bands that, no, I'm not going to do it.
A lot of these songs, he didn't even use the full song just little snippets or 1 or 2 lines from to make a melody with another few songs. So he got rights
mashup,
to,
so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. So he got rights to like Nature Boy by David Bowie or
quite a few songs, 2 or 3 songs by David Bowie.
There was also Heroes by David Bowie.
He also has a little nod to the album Diamond Dog, which was David Bowie's 8th studio album. The Can-Can dancers are called the Diamond Dogs.
Yeah, the Diamond Dogs. Yeah. Bowie has a bigger fixture in this film than you might
realize,
But he always was one who was big on fashion and over-the-top looks.
And music. He loves a really good performance.
Spectacle. And,
Oh, look at him.
Absolutely.
He's awesome.
Very flashy. Then you had things like Silly Love Songs from Paul McCartney or All You Need Is Love by the Beatles, by Kiss, Queen, Dolly Parton.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne showed up here.
Not as a song, but as a scream.
His role was initially supposed to be larger. There's a sequence in the film where the Bohemians have a little absinthe.
Go crazy.
Yeah, they have a little
party.
Absinthe party. Yeah. And of course, absinthe colloquially was, known as the Green Fairy at the time. There's a small little surrealistic segment where the Green Fairy
supposed to be a fat, hairy, metal-looking.
Yeah, like a big, muscly metal guy.
It was supposed to look like that, And then he decided he wanted it to be more whimsical and pretty.
Ozzy did genuinely record his whole dialogue.
I would have loved to hear that. I wonder if it's around somewhere.
But last minute, they swapped him out for Kylie Minogue. And then she did the Green Fairy, but...
when she goes evil.
Yeah, as they're panning away from that Green Fairy segment, the Green Fairy sort of goes mad. Her eyes glow red, and then we hear a scream from...
Ozzy Osbourne.
Love it. We need to even mention that this film stars Ewan McGregor as Christian, Nicole Kidman as...
Satine.
The supporting cast is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You got John Leguizamo, who played Toulouse-Lautrec.
He also played Tybalt in Romeo and Juliet.
Toulouse-Lautrec in real life, a shorter fella. So John Leguizamo...
Did you hear how he did that?
Why don't you tell us about
it? He broke one leg, and then a few months later, he broke the other leg. Yeah. Once those broke, he never they never continued to grow.
Yeah.
So he had short legs.
Yeah. A weird genetic mishap,
Mm-hmm.
man. To accommodate that for the film, not that they were necessarily trying to be historically accurate.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of part of it.
It's a Toulouse.
If you haven't read about Henry Toulouse-Lautrec or
Right.
Henry de
Toulouse.
Toulouse-Lautrec,
Yeah.
you should read about him. He's an interesting fella. He died very young, like 32 or 36 or something like that, from alcohol poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sad.
Yeah.
but a very interesting life. He was an artist. He was a songwriter. He was a culinary artist. Like, he cooked food that people just loved. He has his own cookbooks, which I gotta find.
His art was so influential at the time.
He hung out with really crazy influential people.
Particularly among the nightlife of Paris,
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the can dancers. And he was big on promoting a lot of and giving notoriety, social notoriety, to the can dancers as stars.
Yes, well, he spent a lot of time with the can dancers.
He did. John Leguizamo in this movie ended up performing the role on his knees.
Yeah.
To accommodate Toulouse's real life.
He actually had to do a lot of physical therapy to get back on track after that, because it really messed his knees up.
Knees were kind of harmed afterward. Other than John Leguizamo, who we spoke about when we did the menu.
Not long ago.
Jim Broadbent, who has a fairly large part in this film.
Harold
Ziegler, owner of the Moulin Rouge, who facilitates the contract between the Duke and Satine and all of that.
The original owner of the Moulin Rouge's last name was Ziegler, too.
Yes. That's correct.
Is a little nod to him.
A little nod to him, absolutely. He actually based his performance, his mannerisms,
on
his
Baz Luhrmann.
On Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty awesome.
I was listening to an interview with Baz, and I couldn't see it, but maybe.
It's funny because I listened to I listened to a lot of interviews. I can definitely see it.
Yeah?
And so, when Baz gets real excited, you can see a lot of that Harold Ziegler, his directorship and all that. You can see him doing a lot of the things that Harold Ziegler did, and his kind of, it's all going so well. That's very much Baz Luhrmann.
I loved that character because that reminds me of, I've worked in retail a really long time, and it reminds me of one of those bosses you have that's like trying to bring morale up and make everybody really happy, but like on the down low, everything's falling apart and they know it.
He's frowning inside everywhere, but smiling on the
outside. Yeah. He reminds me of a lot of bosses I've had in the past.
Speaking of the Duke, you had Richard Roxburgh, who...
Dude, did he play a schmimey character.
He did.
Oof, he did good.
He's a fairly handsome fellow.
He is very
life.
handsome, yeah.
But did he make the Duke look grimy.
Gross, yeah.
Like, just a little slime-balled used car salesman.
Yeah.
Kind of gross dude. Anyone else we'll kind of mention as we go along, I think.
So we did mention Strictly Ballroom, too. I did want to say that Tara Maurice, she played the main female character in that movie. Mm-hmm. She has a little cameo at the very beginning with the whole can dancer scene. It's very fleeting, but she has a little cameo in that as well.
Let's talk about how this film performed, yeah?
Yeah. So I did want to mention this film was launched in Australia for a very small crowd of 250 people.
Intimate.
In a small country town called Tari, I don't know how you would say it. It's 200 miles north of Sydney. It's small, and it's very far from the biggest city.
A little bit out of the way.
And I guess Baz Luhrmann kind of grew up just outside of Terry, where his family actually owned a gas service station.
Aw.
Yeah.
How cute.
But 250 tickets were sold at a local pharmacy for the premiere.
That's super cool.
I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, what a nice little acknowledgement to his roots.
And where he came from, yeah. But aside from that, then it did premiere at the 2001 Cannes Film Festival, and it did compete for the Palme d'Or, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did open Cannes that year, didn't it?
It did. It premiered and opened, yeah. It was actually quite a commercial success. So it was a $50 million budget,
right? But
the film made $179.2 million. It did $57 million-ish in the United States and Canada, and then another $122 million internationally.
Now, of course, this is $2001, but I think it's incredible that this film managed to get a budget of only $50 million. Because you look at films these days.
Yeah.
This particular film, I mean, they had, what was it, over like 300 or 400 costumes made? Yeah. Certainly, there were stunts, there were sets that had to be created.
Satine's necklace alone was made out of diamonds, and I think it's $1 million. So, if I remember correctly, it was made for $1 million.
So the diamond necklace that she wore, it's listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the most expensive piece of jewelry ever made for a
prop.
film. Yeah, basically. It was created by jeweler Stefano Canturi, and it was made from 1,308 real diamonds.
That's crazy.
Laid into a white gold structure, and the centerpiece was a 5-carat emerald cut diamond. But altogether, it was estimated about 134 carats worth of diamonds for the whole thing, which would have been an approximate $2.5 million USD in today's money. That's quite the piece of jewelry.
That's quite, yeah. Did you read about where it went? If I was Nicole Kidman, I'd have bought it.
Right?
That's mine now.
Maybe Canturi still has it. I don't know.
Maybe.
But boy, what a piece of jewelry to own, right? If you had to wear that on set, would you be really nervous?
Yes, I would. Especially you're bouncing around and dancing.
I mean, I don't wear jewelry at all. But to don that and have to dance around, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I would be so incredibly just
There had to be
rocker.
a disclaimer there. Be like, you're making this, it's expensive.
Yeah,
but
right.
we're going to be dancing in it. So, like, if it gets broken,
sorry, bro.
It's got to be insured or something. So, yeah, $50 million. Not the biggest budget, but impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, but it still ended up at that magic 2.5 earning ratio. It is a commercial success.
Yeah, was definitely a commercial success. And I probably helped pay for some of it by going to it over and over again. Anyway.
Especially since you bought those really expensive $1,000 seat tickets.
Oh, yeah, those. Right, yeah, sure. I did not.
No. Overall, it got really positive reviews as a film. There were some people that said, oh, it's too over the top.
It was crazy.
But for the most part, it was praised for its choreography, for the music, the cinematography, the colors, the editing, the acting, the whole shebang.
So at the 74th Academy Awards, it received 8 nominations, including Best Picture, and it won 2. So for Best Production Design and Best Costume Design. Even though it was such a huge success, Baz Luhrmann was excluded from Best Director lineup. During the ceremony, the host of that ceremony was Whoopi Goldberg. She had said, I guess Moulin Rouge just directed itself.
Yeah, right.
Because everyone was so surprised that he wasn't in that lineup.
Yeah. Typically, if
he directed it, man.
For the most part, but not always, if a film does get a Best Picture nomination, typically the director will also get Best Director nomination. But it didn't happen in this particular year.
Did not. And also the song Come What May was actually a original song. Mm-hmm. But it was originally written for Romeo and Juliet, not for Moulin Rouge. So they actually excluded it for Best Song in the Oscars.
Yep.
Because it wasn't originally written for, even though they didn't use it in Romeo and Juliet. And it was the same guy. Mm-hmm. I thought that was ridiculous.
Yeah, it is silly, those little fine print details, right?
Oh, God.
But nonetheless, it was supposed to be an original song for the film that it was made for, and this was not the case. So, Come What May, even though it is sort of a tentpole song of this film, it was, like you said, excluded from that nomination.
The musical also led the 59th Golden Globe Awards. It received 6 nominations, and it won 3, including Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy.
And then in the BAFTA Awards, it got 12 nominations there as well. It did win a lot of awards at a lot of other less prominent shows.
Yeah.
Winning a few awards at the Academy Awards, the BAFTAs, and the Golden Globes, 8 total awards between those 3 shows. That's not bad.
In my opinion, it should have won all of them. But...
Of course, according to Leia, if the world were perfect.
If it was perfect in my eyes, it would have won every single one. I was kind of thinking, where did this even come from, this idea? And there's been 2 other movies called Moulin Rouge. One of them came out in 1928. And the other one came out in 1953. Completely different storylines.
Yep.
Not even the same. This is not a remake of those.
No.
And both of those are different from each other, too. One of them's about the can-can dancer. The other one's about Toulouse, mostly. And, and this one is completely different from both of those. So where did this come from? The key source of inspiration for this came from, I'm going to murder these names because they're French, I think, or Italian. Giacomo Puccini's opera La Bohème, which Luhrmann actually directed at the Sydney Opera House in 1993. Yeah. That's kind of where it started, this inspiration for this film started.
The idea
budded, yeah. He also had some interesting encounters with Bollywood films.
Oh, right.
There was actually a Bollywood film that he went to go see, and he says he remembers watching it, and it was so over the top and so dramatic. And he said, and they were all speaking Hindi. And he said it was weird because I felt like I understood Hindi.
Right.
I understood what they were saying, even though I don't speak it. He said it was like I understood what they were saying.
Right.
He goes, and I wanted that feeling when you're watching this, that you just understand what's going on, even if you don't speak English, you could feel it,
Through the body language and the physical emotion and the colors. And
you do. Like, there's this scene where Satine is she's getting assaulted, but you see like the grimy can dancers and the sound of the music and the colors. I mean, it really invokes this like,
it's a very
feeling,
uncomfortable, like it's flash here, flash there. The music is loud. Everything is, there's people screaming and yelling in ecstasy and in some in frustration. And it's just the scene.
Grimy dance.
It really makes you as a viewer very uncomfortable.
Yeah. So he really did, I think, bring that feeling out. He said he also, in a DVD audio commentary, he had said that he drew from the Greek tragedy of Orpheus and Eurydice. The filmmakers projected Orpheus's figure into Christian by characterizing the latter as a musical genius whose talent surpasses, like what everybody else in the world is doing. So we have all this present-day music, even though the Moulin Rouge at its peak was 1890s-ish.
Oh, yeah. More than 100 years before any of this music was conceived.
So that was kind of the thought process, is I'm going to bring all this modern day music, and it's almost as if he's just way ahead of his time. He belonged in a different century. Yeah. So Orpheus, the original Greek tragedies, Orpheus was a musical genius. Right.
And he fell in love with Eurydice, and they had a very short-lived marriage. Eurydice died and she was sentenced to Hades. Orpheus couldn't live without her. They were so enamored, so tied together. So he traveled through Hades to bring her back.
Yeah. It's kind of very similar like this, too.
Very much so.
Goes into the pit and tries to pull her out of this misery and to be with him.
And Hades, he's impressed by Orpheus's music. So Orpheus plays a song for Hades, and that really impresses him.
Hades is like the Duke?
Hades, basically, sort of. So Hades says, okay, I'll let you leave. I'll let Eurydice leave with you. However, before you leave Hades, this realm of Hades, you cannot look back. You must always look forward. Do not look back at Eurydice, or she will be sentenced to remain in Hades. The whole way out, he doesn't look back. He keeps steadfast, moving forward. But Hades pulled a trick. He made it so that Eurydice doesn't make a sound as she's walking. So after this whole long trek, Orpheus finally gets to nearly the mouth of the realm, almost out, and he begins to doubt that Eurydice is actually behind him. He's doubting his faith in the gods, thinking that they've pulled a trick, like they always do.
Because that's how
Grecian
the Greek gods are.
Tricky.
Yeah.
So he thought he was being fooled. So he turns around to look, and there's Eurydice standing there right behind him.
Why didn't he just say, "Hey, babe, you there?"
Because she can't make a sound. So through that momentary lapse of faith, she's then sentenced to remain in Hades forever, and he's no longer permitted to be there. So they're forever seperated. But it's
in that aspect,
very
it's
tragic.
Not the same, but
not entirely. The theming.
I love that you knew that whole story.
I loved Greek.
I know you
when
did.
I was in school,
and you have a steel trap memory, so
something like that.
That helps. Satine is actually based off the French can-can dancer Jane Averill. She actually was at the Moulin Rouge. She came after the Glutton, was the can-can dancer who came before her.
Okay.
The Glutton ended up leaving, retiring, or whatever can-can dancers do. Jane Averill was the one who actually came in to replace her, and they had a completely different style. I guess the Glutton was very flamboyant, very loud, and Jane was more seductive.
She was very low-key. She was softer spoken.
She was also Toulouse-Lautrec's...
Oh, he was enamored with her.
Yeah, muse, basically, and he did a lot of paintings of her. They were in the same social circles together. They hung out a lot. They were really good friends. So it really does come from a very real place brought into this movie. And not the exact same relationship, but... No.
Another sort of similarity between Jane Averill and the situation of Christian and Satine in the film is Jane Averill actually took a lover at one point who was a writer.
Tragic writer.
You're going to
die penniless with a writer.
Basically, yeah. I thought that was a really cool little connection. I never knew that Satine was basically directly inspired,
yeah. There are actually other characters that are directly inspired by others. So we talked about Harold Ziedler. He shares his last name with Charles Ziedler,
one of the first co-owners of the
Moulin Rouge. Satine was loosely based on French composers Eric Satie and Maurice Ravel. Mon fromage, le petit man, and le chocolat shared their names with the performers at the actual cabaret.
Oh, okay.
A lot of direct influences, and some of them very direct, as in that their names are directly from that character.
There have been a lot of Hollywood musicals from like the 30s through the 50s that drew not shot-for-shot inspiration, but very much informed a lot of the spectacle, the framing of scenes in this film as well. Some Like It Hot. Obviously, the big number in that one is Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, which of course translates into this film in a very wild way and composed very similarly to that entire dance number. There's a scene from The $1 Million Mermaid. There's a big dance number that takes place with synchronized swimming, and she's raised up out of the pool with this kind of ring that she holds up. At the end of doing a few little things, she falls back down into the water among all these synchronized swimmers, and it's this big, grand visual spectacle. And that is kind of paralleled in this film where Satine actually descends from the ceiling with a ring into a waiting synchronized dancers below her. And then, of course, many other Hollywood musicals as well. Like Singing in the Rain, there's a very direct representation that Christian is dancing in the rain around a streetlight at one point. The Umbrellas of Schönborg, which we talked about with La La Land as well, also inspired scenes from this film. So
this film's musical setting is the Montmartre quarter of Paris. And this area should look really familiar to you if you saw John Wick 4. There's a scene in John Wick 4 where he is going up the stairs to meet the bad guy.
Oh, that long staircase.
And he keeps falling down the staircase and going up the staircase and falling down the staircase. That's part of that quarter. And the only reason I bring this quarter up, too, is because this is also the same quarter where Toulouse-Lautrec kind of grew up, like where he did all of his artwork, where he did paintings of Jane coming out of the Moulin Rouge. I mean, this is just where all of his inspiration came from.
Kind of a very bohemian area.
Extremely bohemian. Yeah, extremely bohemian area at its time. The setting of the musical is specifically from that kind of area. The John Wick scene also, the film concludes with a pistol duel in the courtyard at the Sacré-Cœur Basilica. I don't know how to say that, but that's also in the Montmartre. I am murdering that. I understand that. I am really sorry.
Sacré-Cœur.
Yeah, I'm murdering all of it. I'm just letting everybody know. I don't speak French.
Yeah, right.
And I try, but it's not good.
So we spoke earlier about cameos. There's another famous musician that was supposed to appear in this film. Baz Luhrmann secured the rights to Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana through Courtney Love. At the time, Kurt Cobain had left the world, and Courtney Love then had control of the estate.
Rights, yeah.
But she was also feuding with a notorious musician by the name of Marilyn Manson. Maybe a few of you have heard of that one. But Manson had already been contracted and recorded his performance of Smells Like Teen Spirit for this movie before release.
She's like, fuck that.
Courtney Love found out that he's performing that song
over my dead body,
and
she said.
Was not having it. So she pulled, in the contract for the rights usage, she had creative say as far as who got to perform. And she said, nope, no.
That's a no.
Get that guy out of there. So they had to get a different artist to come in.
Wasn't it like 5 weeks before or 5 days before? Like something ridiculous.
6 days before.
That's crazy.
6 days before it was set to premiere.
So I had spoken about Toulouse-Lautrec earlier, about how he broke his legs and has alcoholism and how he died young.
Yeah, tragic.
There's a spirit named after him. It's called the Earthquake Cocktail. It's attributed to Toulouse because he used to drink it all the time. And it was a mixture containing half absinthe, half cognac, and in a wine goblet.
All right.
Specifically.
Interesting.
It's no wonder he died young.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm not a cognac fan. I don't care for cognac.
But you've never had cognac with absinthe in it.
That's true. I never have.
I've heard absinthe tastes kind of grough too, though.
That's hence why they always have that melted sugar cube to sweeten it, because it's apparently very bitter from the thujone that's found in the wormwood that's often used. I don't know that I would have the stomach for it.
Yeah.
I don't like drinking sweet, but I also don't particularly care for overly bitter stuff. So I don't think it'd be a drink for me.
Some of the other things that Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec kind of came out of him being part of this film, or his character being part of this film, they used several images from his artwork for the clowns, for the men's in tuxedos with the tutus.
Yeah.
That all that stuff came from some of his paintings. So a lot of those visual images are there from that. He also, some lines where Satine rejects Christian, those are taken from letters of the real Henri.
Oh, okay.
So those are his words exactly.
There's something I want to say about can-can dancers back in the day.
Yeah.
Just an apparel-related instance. And they didn't translate this over into the film because I think it would have added a different rating to the film. But back in the time that this would have been set, back in Toulouse-Lautrec's time and Jane Averill's time, the can-can dancers wore what were called split knickers. Think of the knickers and then have a slit down the center of them. Now, it wasn't necessarily meant to be provocative. It was more of a, if you need to use the bathroom, because those dresses are incredibly elaborate
hard,
and difficult to get on and off.
They say it took 20 minutes to get Nicole Kidman into her dress into her corset.
So having to take those on and off, if you're performing all night long to use the restroom, not going to happen.
Yeah.
The knickers that they wore had a slit so that they could use the restroom when they're off stage or whatever. It also aided in like menstrual cleanliness or just for sweat and funk anyway to kind of clean yourselves. But
they also had doctor's visits too regularly at the Moulin Rouge.
So for ease of access just in many different ways.
Yeah.
They had those split knickers. Now, of course, the can-can dancers, are very well known for the can-can dance, which is the high kicks, right? Those incredibly high kicks that would just murder me if I ever tried to do them with those split knickers on.
Little peeky.
Audience got quite an eyeful.
Yeah.
That made the can-can even more scandalous for its time.
Well, and so in this movie, they didn't use the split knickers, obviously, but they also didn't go with white, which was what the traditional can-can was the white knickers with the white underfrilling. Everything underneath was super colorful because the Baz explicitly wanted everything to just pop.
Everything is pop of color in this film.
So that's another difference, too, between those. Some of this film was actually filmed in Madrid instead of in Australia.
Yeah, I think most of it was filmed on the Fox soundstage in Australia, right?
Why wasn't it? Do you remember?
It fell a little bit behind, just a touch behind on its filming
enough behind.
They didn't finish filming entirely, but they still had to break down their sets because there was another film that was demanding that Australian Fox lot.
With the same actor.
With a same actor. So if you think back around this time, early 2000s, a very big film.
Huge.
Came
with
out
the same character in it. You guys know who we're talking about.
With the same actor, Ewan McGregor, Attack of the Clones. So Attack of the Clones needed that sound stage. So get the hell out of there, Moulin Rouge.
All right, we'll go to Madrid. Oh, darn.
Oh, shucks. They even, apparently, the set designers and the set constructors kept their teardown equipment just off set in order to take it down really quickly at the end of filming to get everything torn down and ready for the Attack of the Clones to take over.
That's stressful, man. Yeah. Ewan McGregor's character, Obi-Wan, his past love was actually also a character named Satine. Satine Kryze from the past when he was becoming Jedi Master was this woman, and they never got together because he had his dreams and aspirations. She had her dreams and aspirations. Yeah. Second time he's played a character that was in love with a woman named Satine.
What do you know?
And speaking of stressful, poor Nicole Kidman broke, 3 ribs?
2 ribs, I believe. She broke 2 ribs and injured her knee during rehearsals.
There were scenes where she was sitting there and getting makeup put on. She's actually sitting in a wheelchair because she was in so much pain. They had to delay filming of another thing that she was in because she was still recovering from the broken ribs, which if anyone's... I've never had one, but I've heard that if you have a broken rib, it's nothing to scoff at.
It's pain just to breathe.
Just to breathe,
yes. Let alone sing and dance and move about.
And I read that she had broken them being
lifted
down, up and down on the... She also says she thinks it might have also been because of how tight the corset was, because she wanted her waist to be so small that she feels like maybe she cracked a rib doing that too.
Probably a mixture of the two.
Yeah,
really did it.
Doesn't help.
Yeah, so there are scenes that are filming Satine from the kind of chest up, and that's because in those scenes, most likely she was in a wheelchair on the set.
So that film, it didn't get postponed. She got replaced. That was Panic Room.
Right. With Jodie Foster.
Who took over, because she couldn't do the film. I did read that this film is an amalgam of 3 different operas or operettas. So the first part is the young writer with the bohemian friends falling in love with a terminally ill girl. That's from La Bohème. And then courtesan learning that love can also be true and idealistic comes from La Traviata, which is based on Alexander Dumas' Phyllis novel La Dame aux Camélias. My God, it's hard. Right. Which also involves terminal illness. And then, of course, at the end there, it's the plot line of the writer who travels to the underworld of the Moulin Rouge to find his love, just like in Orpheus in the underworld.
Yeah. That can theme, that that theme is actually from the play of Orpheus and Eurydice. It's called the song is called Orpheus in the Underworld. There's an Italian name for it. I don't happen to recall. But that comes from that song, which is then used in Moulin Rouge, and it made an appearance in Big Fish, Ewan McGregor's character. When he arrives into the circus, there is that little light.
So is that the same? So I have here that the opera's overture for Orpheus in the Underworld, the same pitch is for the song Spectacular, Spectacular.
Yeah.
And the same movement is more commonly known today as the can. That's what you're talking about? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty big staple in the Moulin Rouge. Yeah. So I had talked earlier about how these are part of the Red Curtain trilogy. There is one really cool connection between the 3 films. But do you remember the billboard above Christian's apartment, and it says La Amour?
Oh yeah.
It's actually carried in through all 3 films.
Really?
There's the cola sign ad on the roof where the lovers break out and dance in Strictly Ballroom. It's like their secret dance.
Sure.
But the Coca-Cola, the lettering, it is inspired by both of those. So you see it on Christian's home, but you also see it on the beach in Romeo and Juliet. It's very brief, but it's the same words on a billboard. Yeah. Huh. And it says, "Wherefore l'amour?" Because, wherefore art thou Romeo? Yeah. Luhrmann says that these things are kind of like a little Easter egg, like a little wink-wink to both him and his wife's love for these big neon advertisement signs. It's kind of something that they just carry through the different films because they
one of their own little personal...
Their own little Easter eggy thing. Yeah, and I thought that was really
that's kind of neat. This film happened to be dedicated to Baz Luhrmann's father, Leonard, because unfortunately, Leonard Luhrmann had passed away on the very first day of filming on this movie. So obviously, Baz had known that his father was critically ill before the filming started. And he considered actually delaying the production of this film. But Leonard, his father, had said to him, "Don't worry about me, focus on this movie." So when he was considering to delay this movie, he remembered those words that his father had said. So I guess to honor the words of his ailing father, he continued ahead with production on this film, kind of understanding that's what his father would have wanted anyway. The film was dedicated to Mr. Leonard Luhrmann, very sweetly.
The word love and its variations, loved, loves, loving, lover, it appears in this film 143 times.
Oh, so this film's about love.
Yeah, but the cute part is that I love you is spelled with 1 letter, 4 letters, and 3 letters. 143. That's a weird coincidence.
There's numbers have a lot of coincidences just inherently.
But 143 is it's one of those things people use to say I love you.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, because I is 1 letter, love has 4, and you has 3. So people will use the numbers 143 as I love you. It's a young thing. You wouldn't get it.
I don't get it.
That's how many times the word love and its variations show up in this film.
Well, Leia, I think we've gone on long enough, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think we've thrown enough little info out there.
Gosh, if you guys haven't seen this movie yet, I really hope that this inspires you to go see it. And I hope it inspires you to give it a good shake, too. Because it's not your typical.
It's not a typical musical. It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. But man, if you like musicals and you like big productions and you love colors and like just the sounds, I mean, this is just...
As we have said many times, Baz Luhrmann's style is very grandiose, very over the top, which for some people is maybe a little
weird.
Too much.
Yeah, off-putting.
But if you can get past all that, there's, and some people don't like the whole fusion of the newer music, melody kind of thing. I think it's fun. I can see how other like musical purists may not enjoy it because, a lot of musical purists like original songs.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of original song necessarily. It's a lot of
But it's
medleys.
like taking the old songs and making them an original song.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It is.
I will say I've watched this movie several times.
Many
times. It does not hit the same as it did in the theater.
Oh,
and if it ever comes to the theater again, I'm going to go see it again. There's just something magical about seeing it on that big screen versus just seeing it on your little screen. Like, it's just like, oh, it's pretty, but like seeing it on the big screen, you're just like immersed in it. And you're like, oh my God.
Well, and having the grander speakers and everything like that. I guess find the show at the Movie Theater Lobby on YouTube, at the Movie Lobby on Blue Sky, Apple and Spotify and all that junk where you already, I don't know why I keep saying that. You already know where to find the show on podcasts.
You should know by now, right?
Find me, Brandon, at BrandMC on Blue Sky. Leia?
You can find me, LM Nerd Room, at all the previously mentioned socials. I wouldn't say I'm totally active on my own site, but we are definitely active on our Movie Theater Lobby Blue Sky account.
Yeah,
so.
And even we've been a little slow on there lately.
It's been busy lately.
Oh, man, the summer's been killing me. So much going on. But we're going to, I think, try to reinvigorate that a little bit here coming up. With kids back in school, we may have a few extra minutes of downtime.
Maybe.
So anyway, folks, let's get you on out of here. Thank you all for listening, coming back to us week after week after week. We super, super appreciate it. Helping us feel important and grand.
It doesn't take much.
It really doesn't. Of course, Leia, thank you.
And of course, thank you.
For bringing us Moulin Rouge this week.
And happy birthday to me.
And happy birthday to you. It's at the end of the month, so lots of time for everyone to wish you happy birthday.
It is. It's true. September 29th, actually.
September 29th.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. I don't care.
Why not?
It is September 29th.
September 29th.
Yep.
But with that, we'll see you all next week for probably a What You Did Say or
something.
Who knows what we're doing.
We'll put something out there.
We haven't really figured that out yet. We'll see you next week on
The Movie Theater Lobby.
Bye.
Bye.